This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Welcome to another edition of the Drunken Preacher podcast. I'm Marcus J. Scott. Yeah, I know it seems unusual, but yeah, I don't have any special guest today. It's just me. But today I want to talk about self-doubt. Yeah, I want to talk about self-doubt. Are you doubting yourself? Yeah, are you doubting yourself? I know for me, for the longest, I was doubting myself. Am I worth it? Am I worthy enough? Can I do it? I mean, I can't do it like my dad does it. I can't do it like E.T. does it. I can't do it like my Uncle Tim, Bishop Clark, Pastor Eric Thomas, Pastor Tyus, my dad, and a bunch of other amazing people that preach. I can't do it like other speakers. I can't do it like the person on the left or the person on the right. I can't sell, millions and millions of dollars in property and commission sales and real estate. I can't do, I tell myself all these things, I'll never build a big business. But what's causing that self-doubt? What's causing you to think that you can't? Is it other people's opinions? Is it your failures? T.D. Jakes says, don't allow other people's opinions to become your reality. Yeah, don't let other people's opinions become your reality. Sometimes we just allow people's thoughts, people's negative thoughts, and sometimes not even intentional, get to us. I think about Jay-Z where he says his uncle when he told his uncle, hey, I'm going to sell 1,000,000 records. He was like, how you going to do that? He was like, you can't sell 1,000,000 records. Because he was putting his limitations on him. His uncle was putting his limitations on Jay-Z. And so, as we know the story, Jay-Z has sold 1,000,000 records like 1,000,000 times. And so, he was putting his limitations on it. Not to be harsh, that was just what his thought process was, what he was thinking. His own personal limitations, putting it on someone else. And a lot of times that's what our closest family members do. That's sometimes what our friends do because they can't see themselves doing it. They question, can we do it? And then we take that and then start doubting ourselves. Sometimes we take our past failures and doubting ourselves. Well, why are we letting our past failures define us? I just came from a conference where I was one of the main speakers there. And I said, who says that it's a failure? Yeah, who says it's a failure? A lot of times we're comparing ourselves to other people. Well, they did this in a certain amount of time frame. Well, they did this and they became this person. And yet when we don't complete something or finish something, or we don't do it in the time frame that we think we ought to, then we see ourselves as a failure. Did you really fail? Or was it just a trial or a test training you to become who you're supposed to become? Yeah, sometimes our trials and our tests are just the training ground for who we're supposed to become. I think about when I was in the military, when I first went in, I hated to run. I didn't really want to exercise, definitely didn't want to run. But yet the running and the exercise were training us for combat time. It was training us for the wartime. It was training us for what was to come so that when we're in the position, when we're in the circumstance, that we wouldn't get tired. So some of the things that you're going through, In fact, most of the things that you have gone through and that you're currently going through is just the training for who you're supposed to become. It's just the training for how to deal with what you're going to need to deal with down the line. It's just the training for the future you. So let's stop looking at all our trials, our tests, our failures as it just wasn't meant to be. You know, I think about my book. I started writing it in 2015. Yeah, I started writing my book in 2015. And the incidents that happened towards the middle and end of the book, do you know they didn't happen for another like 5 years? Now here it is, I'm writing a book about my struggles and the drinking, and then I get pulled over for a DUI, bam, and the issue happens. Like, how is it that I'm in the middle of writing a book trying to say that I want to help people not to do it, and then I get in a situation that I'm actually writing about? Talk about it seeming like a failure. At that time, I was like, there's no way. I mean, I'm not going to even finish the book. I'm not going to even worry about it. Nobody's going to, who's going to listen to me now talking about, you know, hey, you shouldn't do this, and you have these internal struggles, and, you know, you overcome them. And yet I hadn't completely overcame it. Right in the middle of writing the book, I could have said, hey, I'm a failure. It's not going to happen. I could have said, forget it. I'm never going to finish it. But I had to take the opportunity and say, that was just a training for who I'm supposed to become. That was just the training part. That trial was just the training so that I can get to where I am now. So that I can get to the Drunken Preacher podcast where I am now. I was self-doubting even on that. Somebody say, hey, you ought to start a podcast. No, nobody's going to listen to me. How am I going to do that? And there have been challenges even during the process of creating the podcast. So going from, I'm never going to finish this book, going from, it's not going to work, going from, I'm still going through troubles and trials and all of this stuff in the middle of writing a book, it's not going to happen, to finishing the book, getting it published, and starting my podcast. Don't tell me that you can't do something. The thing is, we're doubting ourselves, and we need to stop doubting ourselves. We're worrying. We have fear. And fear and worry is like being in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah, fear and worry is like being in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And then my dad once said this: fear is simply false evidence appearing real. Yeah, fear is simply false evidence appearing real. So let's stop worrying. Let's stop being afraid. Let's stop doubting ourselves that we can't. Why don't we start saying, what if it does work? What if it does turn out the way we think it can? What if it does turn out to be a multi-million-dollar business? What if I do turn out to be the number one motivational speaker in the world? What if I do turn out to be a really great preacher who touches lives and allow people to change their lives, or open the door for people to change their lives? What if it does work? Let's stop also thinking it's supposed to work in the time frame that we think it's supposed to. Yeah, just because it didn't happen in the first year, just because it didn't happen in the 5th year. I just told you it took me 10 years to write that book, from 2015 to 2025, and still having issues on the in-between part. I think about the guy who started Chick-fil-A. He had 2 other restaurants prior to Chick-fil-A. Filed for bankruptcy. Didn't work. So why are we doubting ourselves when so many successful people, or who we consider successful, failed at so many other things? Let's stop doubting ourselves. We can become who we are attempting to become. We just have to go through the trials and the tests that is the training ground for who we're supposed to become. Let's start saying, what if it does work? Let's start saying, this is the training ground. And then let's get around some people who are already doing what we're doing. Yeah, let's get around some people who are already doing what we want to do. I want to be a preacher, teacher, and speaker. I always joke and say I have PTSD, preaching, teaching, speaking disorder, because I didn't want to do it. But now that I'm on that path, now that I've come to realize that that's my purpose, I'm around preachers, teachers, and speakers. Are you around the people who are already doing what you want to do? Yeah, are you around business owners? Are you around people who are in the athletic world if you want to be an athlete? Are you around teachers if you want to be a teacher? Are you around speakers if you want to be a speaker? Are you around business owners if you want to own your own business? Are you around entrepreneurs if you want to be an entrepreneur? Are you around the thing or the people that are already doing what you want to do? Let's get around those people. Let's start writing some things down. And let's start thinking, what if it does work? Let's start thinking, it's not going to be in the time frame that I think it is, but this is the training ground. This trial, this test is the training for who I'm supposed to become, from what I'm supposed to be doing. This is just the training ground. Let's stop doubting ourselves. Let's stop doubting ourselves, and let's stop hanging around those who not only doubt us, but then also give us the negative vibe that we can't. Let's start hanging around the people that say we can't. All right, that's my time for today. Hey, thank you for hanging out with us on the Drunken Preacher podcast. Look, we got some great shows coming up for you next week and the following week and weeks to come, man. I'm so excited. Did not think that this was possible. But I tell you, man, it's always great to be here hanging out with you on the Drunken Preacher podcast. Man, let's stop self-doubting. Let's move forward with I can. Let's start moving forward with what if it does work? Let's start moving forward with the people around us that will encourage us to say, we can, you can, and let's move forward. All right, that's my time. You know how we always end the show. Always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you.
Drunken preacher.